Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Can We Talk 420, where we live the changes we wish to see in the world.
That's right, guys. Join us here as we say each week so that we can entertain you, we can educate you, and teach you how to live a Canna lifestyle. And that is the first time I've been able to say
In
that
3
without
weeks.
puking on my words for 3 weeks. And I was doing it in my head slow, and it went on through there.
I
So
was waiting for the fumble.
I was saying to myself as you were going, I said, let her rip, Tater Chip. And I let it go, and there it came. It came flying out, and it came
I
out
love
again.
hearing that letter rip, Tater Chip. I just can't help but crack up every time he says it. It's funny as hell.
Hey, listen, we had a great show this week. I'm really happy that we are blessed to have the guest that we
Well,
have on
this week is packed full of excitement
Mhm.
because of the outcome of this case. And
Monday, yesterday.
yeah, so our guest this evening is going to be Glenn Keeling.
Mhm.
And I'm sure a lot of you know exactly who he is, but for those of you who don't, he will come on and he will explain exactly who he is.
Mhm.
And
But
it's going to be awesome.
Him and his wife beat some charges.
They
this
did.
week, and I got a favorable decision in court. That's the best way to put it. They got
Yes.
a favorable decision in court. So, and we can't wait
But-
to talk about that. But we'll get into that when he comes on.
Yes, but what I do want to get into right now are our winners from last week.
Yeah.
And if you see here, we got packages all ready to go out. These are going out tomorrow. This one is Lori Del Moro. She won
got the tincture.
the
yeah.
tincture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we have Tracy Galore, who's
Yeah.
getting the soft gels.
Mhm.
And then for our activist giveaway for our unclaimed prize
Mhm.
from the week before was Carrie Cannon. And
guys,
here
these
it
will all be
is.
out in the mail. We'll get
So
these
this is
out.
all going to go out tomorrow. So tonight, I want you guys to pick another number. We have 3 prizes this week, and 1 to 500. So we have 3 numbers picked. You will receive one. Will
Of the
receive
three following.
a CBD isolate from Mary's Natural Creations. We are promoting this because Peter and I are now going to be selling
a lot of
isolate and different cannabinoids in isolate form in bulk.
CBD,
So
CBG,
you want to,
we got a CBN,
yeah.
THCA. We've got a whole line of isolate products that we're going to be able to offer you too on our website.
So for those of you who are interested in creating what you want to win.
Right, and not only that, with the individual cannabinoids in isolate form, if people do have specific illnesses that they do need a higher concentrated CBG
Yes.
or a concentrated CBN,
Yes.
they'll be able to get those things.
Yes.
THCA too. THCA. I will praise THCA, especially like when you make a tincture out of THCA crystallines and you make a bind it to MTC and make yourself a tincture. It works incredibly well for children.
It
that
does.
are in school that are having hyperactive issues.
Yes.
Now, storage of the product is another thing. You got to be careful how you store it so they don't
Yes.
convert to THC. But it's an incredible product. We've had such success treating children around
For
with
sure.
it,
For
so.
sure. And the next product giveaway is going to be the Zoya hemp oil soft gels, 30 count, 10 milligram. And the Zoya tincture, 250 milligram, broad spectrum. So pick a number, 1 to 500, 3 winners, and
Don't go over.
No, don't go over 500.
If everybody goes over the lowest number, it's obviously the closest one. But
And-
other than that,
And 500 still, because we are still trying to get the voluntary option YouTube channel to 500 subscribers. So this is why we're picking the number 1 to 500.
and do us a huge favor. If you're watching the show and you're watching it on Facebook, watch it on YouTube.
Yes,
That
please.
watching it on YouTube really helps us in so many ways.
Look, we got our 1,000 subscribers. We're over that now on Can We Talk. And what needs to happen now is we need 40 view hours. 44 view hours. So no, it's 44 view hours. So help us achieve that. So if you're watching this now on Facebook, click off. Go to the YouTube channel, Can We Talk 420.
You can still comment. You can still be part of the show.
And watch it from there. And that will help us out a lot.
We started doing it too. Like Adam versus the Man. We live here on Adam's property at the Garden of Freedom, and Adam's YouTube channel. I watch it every day and I share it every day. I do a watch party on Facebook, but I watch the show on YouTube and comment on YouTube. So it truly helps with all of us with presence and things like that. And it helps pay for these podcasts, folks. These,
Yeah.
fine if you do it on Facebook. It's free. Anybody can go live, but we pay for production and for material and different software and our websites and things like that. And that's all we ever did. And listen, we love to be able to go to these court hearings. And, it's kind of hard to do on your own dime when you're an activist all the time. We would have loved to have been in Ohio. We'd already been there 3 times. This would have been a perfect time to go. So anything you can do to help continue to promote the show and promote us, we appreciate it.
Well, you can do that by going to YouTube and watching it there. You can also do that by subscribing to Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Our Patreon is connected to the voluntary option as well as Can We Talk, and it comes with monthly subscriptions. So
anywhere from $5.
$5 right on up to $100. Product would be delivered to you every single month with your monthly subscription on certain levels. And it's just check it out. Patreon.com/CWT42 small o TBO.
And Jim's got it up on the screen right now,
he does.
showing all the different levels and the benefits that come along with them. That's there's that's going on. We were going to talk about something else too. What else did we have him pull up other than our Patreon account? Oh, our Teespring account.
Yes.
Guys, listen, we got tons of swag out there, from coffee mugs to masks to, and every day the line increases. We're going to add T-shirts and hats and stuff like that as it comes. But on there now, they got some great masks on there. Some that are just graphic and entailed.
The store is growing every single day between Pete and I designing, because we're both designing. We have both different views and ideas. So we're both creating.
Yeah, Helen's a bit more sarcastic than
for sure. So yeah, if it's something that seems a little mean, it's probably something I
like
mean.
if it's only our allergies, Karen, that's Helen. That's the kind of things. I've been promoting a lot of the voluntary option. Why? Just because we truly need change in this world, and voting libertarian and getting a Joe Jorgensen
for
into
sure
office is going to be a plus.
Yeah. So pick up your Joe Jorgensen mask.
Mm-hmm.
All you libertarians, I'm kind of banking on you for it.
There you go. And there's lots of other ones. There's my TVO. There's a TVO mug. There's lots of ones. Either show. But we appreciate it, guys. So again, visit patreon.com, become a member that way, or support us by buying from our T-shirt springs.
So it's growing. Everything around us is just growing. And another little piece of good news is I got a job today.
Yes, you got a job.
So
down the road at the bar.
It's a bartending /server position. But it's at the Roadkill Cafe in Seligman, which is a famous restaurant, just like Lulabelle's Barbecue. Here
right
in
on
Ashford.
Route 66. Yeah.
Right on Route 66. And I'm really looking forward to it, to get back into the groove of work.
It just seems to happen every time we eat somewhere more than like 5 times. Helen just starts working. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if she wants to be near the food or whatever. But
I love hanging with people.
Yeah.
So you know what? And a lot of people don't see that in me, because they're like, oh my God, she's always thinking people suck. People do suck. Many people suck. But there's many people that are really cool too. And it seems like you find them in places like that, that there's a lot of really cool people, and I like interacting and I like teaching too. So it gets me out there.
I just want to put out some heads up today. Everybody, again, please make sure that if you're on Facebook, you're absolutely looking at Adela Wisdom and the problems that her and her husband Aaron are going through after the bust that they've had. Listen, it's my true belief that these two were set up because they were both running for office and because they're both cannabis activists.
Oh, come on, that's so blatantly obvious. And come on, and we're going to find that the same thing in Glenn's case. When we were there advocating for Glenn and Peggy, no one seemed to know about this big, huge case that this couple's facing 50 years. Oh, but I did hear Glenn Keeling's name before. I heard it when he was running for office. Yeah, okay. And right after he's running for office, boom, he's raided. It's pretty obvious what's happening, and they don't want our kind of people with our like mind to be in office, because then change comes that they don't want to see. Well, guess what? You don't run the world.
Well,
we do.
They do run the world right now because we're not.
Well, we're not allowing that any longer.
They do run.
That's just it.
What I want to say is, what I wanted to say was that these cases have to stop.
Yes.
And you know, the
They
reason
do.
why I'm really truly enjoying the show tonight, probably more than any other night, is because that's what it's about. It's back to our roots, not only healing, but SOS, solidarity over
That's right.
separation. You know, bringing people together, keeping people together, and understanding that victimless crime should never, ever, ever be in
No.
a judicial room, and it's just a waste of the court's time, taxpayers' money, and everything. If if there's no victim, there is no crime. If no one's being hurt, why are we spending our hard-earned dollars?
That's right. And let's talk about this guy, shall we?
Yeah, everybody, let's freelance Galore.
Let's bring him home.
That's
I
right.
mean, enough is enough, man. Enough
right.
is enough.
Hey, listen,
No victim, no crime. Bring him home. He's already missed moments that you can never give back. And you know, that's another thing that really aggravates me about all these things that these people are going through, and what we take from what is taken from them by the broken systems. This man can't. There's moments that he's not going to get back with his kid, with his mom, with his grandparents,
with himself. For
bring
Christmas
him
sake.
home.
I mean, let's bring Lance home. Let's make sure.
Hey! What's the matter? What's the matter? Did you get bit by something, Bagheera?
Oh, you stay there. I'll look and make sure.
Come here, Bagheera. Hey! You hear that? Thanks for putting Lance's stuff up there, Jim. Did he get bit by something?
I don't think so. I think he was just chewing on something like this and then got poked or something.
Come here, Baggy Butt.
Rattlesnakes.
Come here, my Bagheera. Come here, Bubby.
You're doing a radio show.
Yeah, I know.
Let's sorry about that. The dog kind of got like chewed on or something.
Yeah, he might have gotten a little.
It's been hell on the dogs. Like Lily came home yesterday. One of her toenails is like almost snapped. One of her teeth.
One of her teeth is hanging out of her head.
I don't know what she got tangled up with.
He thinks she got tangled. I think she had a little fight with something, and she usually fights with something over Indica because Indica's always just like she's just a free spirit, lollygagging all through the woods.
The littlest thing weighs like a half an ounce. And
Lily's got to come to the rescue all the time.
Wolf. I don't get it. Well, listen, let's get right to the show tonight.
Please.
We wasted about 13 minutes already.
All right.
Again, listen, before the show, don't forget, put in them comments. One between 500. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel. But without further ado, let's have Jim bring up a good friend of ours, a comrade, and a man that we're so happy is able to be on our screen tonight. Because who knew what was going to happen in court yesterday?
That's right.
Everybody, please welcome
Mr. Glenn Keeling.
Hey, how are you guys? Can you hear me okay?
There we are. Glenn Keeling, how are you this evening, my brother?
Free man.
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm way better than I was yesterday. So yeah, I'll tell you, back October 31st of 2017, our home was raided, under the pretense that Peggy and I were, and I'm going to quote the prosecutor yesterday, that we were organized criminals of a ringleader. We were ringleaders of a criminal organization, is what she said. Is that pretty much quote? That's pretty much what she quoted.
Oh my God.
So after 2.5 years, 2 years and 9 months of going through this, we were offered a plea deal. The crappy thing is we were told almost 2 years ago that this is going to come out to we're going to end up having to take a deal for this. And it did. We ended up having to take a deal over this to be able to save what health Peggy has left. Of course, she suffers with MS pretty bad, and it's gotten worse going through this case. Yesterday we were given a 5 years probation. We do not have a mandatory fine. We don't have our license aren't suspended. We were both looking at I was looking at 15 years suspension on my license, and Peggy was looking at 10. I was looking at roughly $37,000 fine, and Peggy was looking at 17,800 and something fine. So to come away from court going from 21 to 56 years to getting 5 years probation, I think that's an amazing. The fight wasn't for nothing.
That's right. That's for sure. That's for sure.
So I mean, neither one of us are serving time. We both have to. And as you know, the thing about this whole thing, we were charged felony possession of drugs, and they just listed it as drugs because it was cannabis and hash is what it was. Hash is their legal definition for wax, and then that's just basically what it was. So we were both looking at some substantial amount of time over possession of cannabis, and the thing is the judge ordered almost 2 years ago that we can use our cannabis. I mean, it's in our bond paperwork that we
You
can
can
use.
use it while we charge you for it and make your life miserable for it, but you can
Mm-mm.
use it.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So
that's exactly what it was, and a lot of people say that can't be true, but it is. It's. I
it
mean,
is.
I shared a picture. I mean, you guys have. I mean, it's black and
I've
white.
seen the
We were,
paperwork. I know.
We've
you
been
know,
there. We know. Yep.
So yeah, we were court ordered bonded. Actually, there you go. Number five, it says not to be in an establishment that serves alcohol by the drink, but can use medical marijuana by the doctor's order, by prescribing physician. So we let you use cannabis. We'll let you possess the cannabis that you're going to use. But while you're doing that, we're still going to charge you with the possession of cannabis. Um,
Well, not only that,
that
they were
you
charging you
know,
manufacturing. They were charging you with many charges.
Yeah.
As they always do.
So
mm,
explain to us the explain for those that don't know the manufacturing charge and how they actually came up with that.
well, they when they did raid our house, they found our daughter's, I guess, craft stuff, and they found an unopened pack of sucker sticks. Well, digging through stuff, they found some stickers, and then they found some stuff. Well, they found all of the edibles. Well, the edibles consisted of some peanut butter balls, I think some ice cream, and I think that they gave us some Jello. They were supposed to be Jello gummies. Um, so that's what they had. But the officer sat on a stand and he testified that he believes that I take a propane torch
I think he's
Uh-oh.
frozen.
Think he's frozen?
Yeah, he might be frozen.
Yeah.
Jim.
Jim, are you still there? We're still here, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think Glenn might have lost a little bit of signal.
But that's all right. He'll be back.
He'll be back on.
The thing about this show this week was it was really truly the easiest show Helen and I have had to prepare for.
Because we know this case
we-
inside and out.
yeah,
we've
we've
been
been
there
there.
3 times.
Right.
We've sat in on conferences.
Mm.
We've counseled. We've been interviewed for the documentary. So we're very well aware of what's happening in this case. And look, it was a godsend that he didn't get any time, because I can tell you what the stress did to Peggy, and God forbid Glenn would have gone. I don't know how she would have survived it.
Peggy just had an operation. Okay, good. Glenn's
back.
Sorry, Glenn.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I moved location. That way it would be a little bit better.
That's fine.
So yeah, listen, Peggy has MS, and everybody knows that. With MS, that's a brain disease. It has where it's eating tissue away from. There's holes in her brain. That's all. That's what's happened. Well, at one point, she was doing her MRIs and stuff while we were using cannabis. Um, the brain lesions were shrinking. They were. She didn't have any new brain lesions. Didn't have any plaque or anything like that. 3 months after um, we started this case and they took the medicine away, Peggy developed new brain lesions. And these are all documented by MRIs. It's all in documented paperwork that's proven that after this case started, Peggy developed new brain lesions. She developed lesions going down her spine. That means that her disease was eating her spine. That's all there is to it.
Right.
Plaque had started to develop and started to cover up her brain and started to move down through her neck into her shoulders. And this was just 3 months after having to stop using cannabis. The damage that was done for her not using cannabis that time is a slow working progress to continue to get her back to where she was before. And of course, with this Ohio program and with the medicines that that are allowed here, and I say that very, I don't like the word being because we're adults, we should not be
I know.
happy with being allowed,
Right.
so but with the program allows us to use, Peggy can only partially heal. So with what we're allowed to use, and now mind you, I'm telling you this by being on probation, so um, that is an indicator that we are on probation, and we are allowed to continue to use medicine because it is a prescription prescribed by a physician,
Right.
uh, which is an amazing thing. I'm absolutely glad the court does recognize that cannabis is an essential medicine for Peggy and I both, and that people do suffer. I mean, that just signifies, with that alone, it just tells the validity of cannabis use for medicine. I mean, how many probation and allowed to use cannabis?
Right.
How
Like this
crazy is
the
that?
funny thing about it,
Right.
and Glenn, and you saying that, and like you're saying it, like I'm on probation, I'm allowed to use cannabis.
Mhm.
The funniest thing, and then we use the word essential, and how the government
Yep.
deemed cannabis essential. The government deemed something that they have Schedule 1
With
as an
no
essential.
right, with
How
no
in the
medicinal
fuck,
value.
excuse my language,
Right. Well,
hell,
see,
can they
even
do
saying that, Helen, with even saying that there's no medicinal value, even as activists, we can't say that because we absolutely know that the government
Oh, we
Yeah.
owns
do. I'm saying
six
what
six
they're
three zero
doing, but
five
this is
zero
the thing.
seven.
Exactly. But how blatantly screwed up is it that they can do that, and it's and so many are just accepting of it?
Mhm.
Or I mean,
Right.
can we spell hypocrisy? I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, it's been deemed essential. It's been deemed, I mean, in many court cases now, has been labeled, classified as medicinal medicine. So, I mean, it's just, come on, it's almost time for, them to reschedule this. I mean,
For sure.
to
Past time.
save people from being criminals, because people that consume cannabis aren't criminals. Peggy and I are not criminals.
That's right.
We're two sick people that just want to heal. We don't want pharmaceutical medicines ravishing our lives anymore. I mean, that's
Right.
bottom line.
Yep.
Cannabis is a safer alternative for both of us, and I'm glad that the court realizes that,
Yeah,
and they've
gotta
allowed
say,
us to continue.
during your case, you and Peggy have been champions. I mean, you chapter coordinate a activist group. I mean, you guys do all of this on top of all the hell you were going through. And people don't, you didn't give up. You didn't bury your
No.
head in the sand. You didn't run, and too many people do. And I again applaud you both, man. And you always had our support. We'd have done
Right.
anything
Well,
we could for you.
the thing that I come to realize, pretty early on in our case, that and I realize this even further back because Peggy and I have been activists for a long time and fighting for this, and we've realized that there's a great many of people that are serving time right now, and a
For
lot of
sure.
these people are serving time in whether it's a recreational or a medicinal state. And the thing is somebody, it got to a point where there was enough people that are serving time for cannabis that somebody in the government or somebody somewhere said, hey, you know what? We ought to just go ahead and just legalize this because there's quite a bit of money in this. And they
Mm-hmm.
failed and forgot the people that had come before them. And I mean, it's not that, let's say the government don't give a shit about what we think. They're not listening and saying,
Nope.
oh, well, my heart bleeds for you. Yeah, I'm going to change the laws for you. Bullshit. No, they're not going to change that. What they seen was an avenue to make more money, so they legalized cannabis, whether it was for recreational or for medicinal use, to draw money. That's all
Mm-hmm.
it absolutely is. And there's
Yeah.
people that are still going through cases in these states because they had a little bit over, or they helped a friend out, they had compassion, or whatever the case may be. But I learned and I knew that I was not just sitting there at that table for me, that there's going to be a great many cases that comes after mine, that my case, our case, Peggy's and my case was going to make a difference for somebody, because there's going to be things in our case that's going to change. And you know, anytime a judge makes a ruling, anytime a judge makes anything that goes into a doc case, it becomes case law. So
That's
there's
right.
several things that happened in our case that are, you know, set case law. One, he deemed and ruled at the time of the incident, Peggy and I had our paperwork in order, and we were within the law, meaning that, you know,
You got a
we
lot of
were with it. It
precedents.
means exactly what he said. The other
Yes,
thing was that he bonded us to use cannabis. So I mean, those are
precedents.
two huge things that's going to
They
help
are.
somebody else out in the
That's right.
next case, you know. So I knew it wasn't just Peggy and I sitting there, and we had to get the absolute best outcome, not just for us, but for people that's going to have to sit there at that table following us. You
That's
know,
right.
I mean, cannabis isn't about just one person or one movement or one thing. Cannabis is about all of us.
That's
That's
right.
Every
right.
single one of us sits at that table. Every time a defendant has to sit there, we're sitting there with them because they do the same thing that we're doing. We
That's right.
consume cannabis, but we're going to sit and we're going to say, oh, well, you know, because you broke the law. What if the law's wrong? And for an
The law
activist
is
to
wrong.
say that you broke the law, that you deserve what you get, or that
No,
you know, hey, you should have stayed within the law, is an asshole activist, and they should go find something
that's
else to
right.
do, because this is not for them. It does
That's
not
right.
matter if you had a gram over or a pound over what they allow you. It's a plant. No one should ever go to jail
I
for
got.
a
You know
plant,
That's
what?
right.
I
period.
saw a post the other day. I saw a post the other day of a bust where a trunk got open and there was weed in the back, and you know, Joey had posted up, done an article on it, and the somebody commented on there, said, "Well, was that legal cannabis?" I go, "What the hell
It
makes
doesn't
cannabis
matter.
legal and makes it
The,
illegal? Is there a special seed? Is there a strain that it, you know? I mean, come on."
the
You know,
Right,
bottom line is if
right,
a law is unjust or wrong, we are not only right in ignoring it, we are obligated to do so.
that's right.
And
absolutely.
that is for every human being. That's not just for activists, that's for everybody to understand that that is our duty as citizens to right the wrongs the government is doing.
And it's also
And
our
Right,
right as citizens
absolutely.
to know what our rights are when we're sitting in that jury box,
yes,
and to know
jury
that we can
nullification.
nullify a verdict by, if a law isn't just and it isn't morally hurtful, or morally, if your morals can't sit back and go, this person actually did something wrong, we can say, I'm sorry, they're not guilty. I don't care what the law says.
No victim, no crime.
That's right.
Right. Well, the actual meaning of the word crime, the definition of crime, is causing harm or
To another.
destruction of property to a
Yep.
person, place, or a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Cannabis is a non-violent, non-criminal. It should be it's a non-violent, non-criminal offense. There's no victim.
Right.
It's a victimless crime. So
The only victim was you.
it should not be labeled a crime, period. It should be labeled that somebody's trying to heal, or somebody's just trying to forget what happened to them this morning, or, you know, there's a great many reasons why somebody uses cannabis, and it's none of our business why, but somebody uses cannabis for a reason. And whether it's recreational or medicinal, it's all medicinal. There's no the cannabis plant.
Exactly. It is.
You know, the cannabis plant does not realize or know that, hey, I'm recreational. I can only be this, or hey, I'm medicinal. A cannabis plant does not know. We humans are the ones that labels recreational
Well,
or
we we
medicinal,
we
but it's all
humans have been
medicinal.
doing things right. We've been doing things wrong for a long, long time, and it's all because of what we were taught. We have been taught to regulate Mother Nature rather than allow her to regulate us the way it was meant to be. And
Right.
that's where we all need to get back to. And everybody should be ingesting cannabis. Everybody, and especially in
If
this
you're ill.
country because of how polluted our air, our water, our food is. We are sick. We're a sick society, period.
Another thing in this too, another right of theirs that has been that was taken from them, like is taken from anybody once they get that card, is your Second Amendment
That's right.
to bear arms, and that was part of your case too. And I'm glad that they ended up nixing the fact that you had guns in your home too, even though they weren't illegal
Right.
guns. you were a patient, which means you
can't have
can't
them.
have a gun.
No,
Right.
you
You
can
know,
be a raging
Right.
alcoholic and
Your
have 50
doctor
million.
can prescribe you 7 million opiates, and you can walk around with a sidearm at your side.
Mhm.
But heaven
know, let me-
forbid you smoke some pot.
My first gun, the first pistol I got, you know, I wasn't big on firearms and stuff. I had a hunting rifle because I went hunting with my dad. But the first handgun I got was in 1999, and I was diagnosed with Crohn's in '96. So trust and believe, I was on a crap ton of pharmaceutical medicine, a
Mhm.
crap ton. Trust me, a crap. So in '99, when I got, you know, my very first gun, I think that I was probably under the influence of narcotics, you know, pharmaceuticals, but they let me walk out with a 9 millimeter pistol. It's
Of course.
awesome, you know. I believe another time, I think I was at the bar and somebody dared me to go get a gun. They didn't think I could walk out of a store with one, and I did. I was half drunk. I went and got a pistol.
Mhm.
Isn't that something?
Fuck, are you kidding? You know, but
It's
you know,
it's
become a cannabis patient, and oh my God, you've lost the ability to understand how to use a gun.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that it's absolute crap law that, you know, you can't own firearm and be a cannabis patient.
So
Eh,
let me ask you this, Glenn. Now that you're on 5 years probation, the both of you, correct?
yes,
Okay.
yep.
What does your cannabis usage look like now that you're on that program? Are they limiting you? Are you doing the same as you always have? Are you not able to use what's the deal?
Well, no, we both are able to use exactly. I mean, nothing has changed for us. The only thing that has changed for us is absolute access, is where we have to get it. We're not allowed to belong to a collective.
Okay.
We're forced to, we have to use the program dispensaries. Um, so we have to use the program the way the program's designed. So we can't belong to any
Okay.
collectives.
Okay.
The amount of medicine that hasn't changed. We've not been limited to. We've just been limited to exactly what we are allowed to have is the 90-day supply. Um, so yeah, I mean, nothing has really changed other than the fact that we no longer can belong to a collective. We have to use regulated
State policy,
program. Yeah,
whatever their program is.
Look at the dog.
Okay.
yeah,
And also their prices as well, which are ridiculous, I'm sure.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
We can't do. We have to absolutely use the program the way the program was designed, no matter how bad the program is. So,
Mm.
and it's pretty bad. So,
Yeah. Now, do you
um,
two have separate probation officers that you have to report to, or is there going to be
no,
testing for you guys?
we're both gonna have the same probation officer.
Okay.
Because for Peggy, with Peggy, it's kind of hard for her sometimes when her MS gets bad and flares
Yeah.
up. It's kind of difficult for her to talk and to express what she's trying to say. So
Right.
it's just going to be easier for us to have the same probation officer and be able to do it at the
Okay.
same
Good.
time. And
When's the first time you have to report?
I'm not sure. I tried to call today and I left a message with the probation officer they assigned us. I don't think, I think he may have been on vacation yesterday and today.
Mhm.
But I did leave a message for him to get a hold of me. So I'm hoping that he calls real soon because I don't want to be in violation.
Right. Right. Well, you'll stay on top of that,
This
I'm
is
sure.
the thing I was just going to bring up as we were talking a little bit about in the pre-show, is the fact that, you know, yes, this is a victory because Glenn's not in jail. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
That,
They,
yes,
they
for
didn't
sure.
lose their licenses. They haven't lost their home. They still have an income. All the things that could have been taken from them for doing this nasty thing called cannabis. But
Right.
where was I with that? Where was I going?
I don't know.
Where would I start? Where did I start?
You started with what we were talking about in the beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah. But there's life still is still kind of on pins and needles because
sure.
they've got, you know,
For
they're
sure.
on probation for 5 years.
Come
They,
on,
you know,
it's just look,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Look at what Craig's going through. I mean, Craig's home, but Craig's still on. He's on home confinement for 8 years. I mean, it's we gotta let these people go. We cannot. I mean, you can't keep these strings attached.
well, they're doing it
It's
with regular people, keeping them home and
Right.
confining them. So
It's
I mean,
not-
when they can do it with the court system and people have a fear of going back to jail,
These wrongs
really
have to be
screwed up.
righted.
I know. Well,
Period.
Right.
You
Well,
know, I mean, look at
if
18 years Craig lost. 18
if we would
fucking
screw
years.
up, wow.
Now you want to
If
take 8
if
more.
if there would be
Whatever.
some chance that Peggy and I would happen to mess up, the first time we mess up, we would have to serve 180 days in our local county jail.
Okay.
And then we'd come out and be back on, our paper would pick up to where it was. If we would mess up after that, we would have to serve a 58-month sentence, and then come back out after 58 months and be on paper where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
And if the third time we mess up, we would get the full amount of time that we were looking at to begin with, which is the full 58 months, plus 5 years added on top of that, plus whatever time we had left on probation. So
Well,
it
you
could
guys
be,
are not going to be messing up.
No,
I know
absolutely
that.
not.
So,
we're not even gonna have to look at the first 180 days.
No.
I'm telling you.
Well, listen, the only way truly, if they had you on paper that you would mess up is using cannabis, but you have that right. So there's
Thank
really
God.
no way, I don't think that,
thank God. You know,
Right. Yeah. There's
small
nothing.
not drinkers,
Right.
none of
I mean,
that.
because Peggy and I
No,
aren't
but yeah,
drinkers to
thank
begin
God for
with.
small favors. It's not like, you know, they went out of their way to give them big favors. You know,
Right.
it still sucks. You know, I just wish you guys were free of this altogether. It should be. Well, I've been saying this from the beginning. You should have been given a compassionate award for giving that gentleman 2 grams. It shouldn't have been this way. So much has been taken from you and Peggy. Her health has deteriorated so much. I mean,
Right.
we all watched it.
Yeah, I mean, we
watched it. And I hate
Well, we
what
feel that even though he got the conviction, we ended up with the win.
right.
for sure.
You know,
Right.
because
He's-
getting
he's-
probation, that was a huge win for us. I mean, comparatively to what we were looking at, so yeah, I mean, comparatively looking at what we were looking at, it was
50 years
definitely a win.
Yeah, you can kiss your grandchild, man. That's
For sure.
Believe
Yeah.
me, man. That what
Yeah, you
what
can
I
hear in the
feel like.
background making all kind of noise.
I know, I've heard her too. That's why I'm saying, man, that's great. You got that's a blessing.
That's
man.
a beautiful noise.
Yeah, I miss
Yeah,
that noise.
yeah,
I
yeah,
miss that.
absolutely. And I'm, again, Peggy and I fought as long as we possibly could for the best
Yeah.
outcome, not only for us, but for the best outcome for the next people that have to sit at
For
that
sure.
table.
Hey,
Um,
you're absolutely right with the precedents that you set in your case. You will make a big difference for those that are coming up after you. I personally hope there isn't many that come up
Right.
after you. However, whatever
We know
ones
better.
that do, your case will be cited
Mhm.
as precedents
Mhm.
for sure. And in multiple areas. And that, that is a win.
Mhm.
For the
Right,
judicial
absolutely.
system, it's a win for making the changes that are necessary, for sure.
Right. Yep. Hey, and guys, I greatly appreciate you having me on and the ability to tell my story and to get this out. And listen, if anybody is in the area and they going through something, they're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'm real easy to find. I'm on Facebook. And if I don't respond right away, you can always just call me. And my number is 419-863-0498. Just call me and I will be there to help any way I can.
And if you're catch a case in Ohio, man, Glenn runs the Creative Care Beacon.
Yes.
It's he's there for court support. He's
That's
there to
right.
help you out. All the things that he needed when he was going through this.
If you're in trouble, utilize the experience that he just went through
That's
and
right.
the precedents that he set, because it can truly help your case.
Mhm.
And his
Absolutely.
knowledge is priceless.
Mhm.
In
Right
this
on.
situation. So the Creative Care Beacon, it's Rockford, right? Rockford, Ohio.
Mhm.
You're in
Yep.
Yeah.
Mercer County.
Yep. Mercer County, Ohio.
Yes.
Again, thank you guys for having me on and the ability to tell all this. And you guys have a blessed night and thank you again.
I
Not
am
a
so
problem, Glenn,
glad
man.
that you
send
came
our
on.
love to Peggy, man. Please, man, give her a big
I
hug
will.
for us.
Yeah.
And as soon as we can get to Ohio, you know, we'll definitely come and see you.
Yep, and we're having
Right
a
on.
damn block party when I get there.
Right on, you guys. Right on. Thank you again.
All right.
We
Peace.
love you,
Bye.
Glenn.
Love you, man.
We'll talk soon.
Awesome, man. Jesus, listen. You know, you gotta understand that 2 years and 9 months of not knowing whether 50 years of the rest of your life is going to be affected.
Yeah.
Is just so hard to even think about.
That's hard for a healthy person to go through. Imagine somebody with MS who's in a wheelchair and has to deal with that stress on top. And we all know what stress does. Stress is the number one killer.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a woman who had MS who had to deal with this day in and day out. The not knowing where her future was going to be. Where is her husband coming home? They were tortured by this case. You know, there was a time when we were there and I had sat in and I really thought they were going to do motions of dismissal.
Yeah,
I thought that was talked about in the conference. It was supposed to happen and it didn't. And they're not doing 50 years, thank God, but they're still attached to the system wrongfully. It should not be this way. These are the things that we need to change. And the way that I do it is through education. The way my husband does it is through politics. Everybody has their niche, but we all got to start working together.
And speaking of which, in politics, if you are a resident of Mercer County, Ohio, and Fox goes up for either DA or judge, because the judge is retiring and he's supposed to fill his position. If you vote this gentleman back into office, he is going to continue to terrorize people's lives.
And that's what it is. He's terrorizing. Look, cannabis prohibition, period, is tyranny. It simply is. When you have the facts about the ECS, human physiology, and the science behind the plant, there is no other explanation other than ending prohibition. That's all you can do. You have to end prohibition, otherwise it's human genocide, especially with everything that we have to combat on a daily through our food, our water, and our air. It's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
So please, if you don't have the proper education on the ECS, the endocannabinoid system, the science behind the plant and human physiology, then you are doing yourself a disservice. Get the education.
Across the bottom of the screen goes www.canawetalk420small.com. If you need any education, if you need any information on the plant, on criminal justice as far as the plant goes, any way you need to be educated or learn about this plant, you can find the answers there or schedule an appointment with
schedule a consultation. And my consultations, there is an hourly rate there, but I'm very flexible. If you can't afford, you just let me know and we'll figure it out.
And anybody that buys product, their consultation fee is always waived anyway. So it's not like it's not like it's set in stone.
It is absolutely something that we all as citizens need to wrap our head around. Education of this plant and the endocannabinoid system and human physiology is imperative to finding even remotely homeostasis, even remotely close to balance in your life. You have to do that.
And again, on there, you'll find the SOS tab where you'll be able to learn about jury nullification in case you do come across someone that is a victim of the system and is being held hostage. And is being held without their own consent. Then what you can do is go to the SOS tab, learn about jury nullification, learn what your rights as a citizen are. Because listen, we have them, we just don't use them. We don't think about these things, folks. Why? Because most of the time we're scared. We're just in the moment. We're being threatened. We're having all these things thrown at us.
And let's not forget that that's what they want. They want that fear to be front and center when you're in that room in front of them.
That's why
that's what they want.
Because they frightened you to death. They frighten you to death with every action that they take. And it's time that the American people take back the American government, folks. There are a lot of people running in this next election that you really should take a look at. I'll mention Anthony Wentley in Washington, the state of Washington. He's running as an insurance adjuster for the whole state. This is a libertarian in mind, somebody that's ready to change the insurance system to be privatized, where you can construct and structure your own
right.
insurance needs and pay a fairer price at that. Why? Because it isn't government run then with dot. This is what you charge. Maybe hospitals will stop charging $500 for a Band-Aid in these cases. $100 and change for a bag of water in your IV. These are not bullshit prices. These are what are charged.
That's right.
And that is why our system is so wrecked and in such a wreck. So look up people like this. You've got Jo Jorgensen running for president of the United States of America. Jo is a brilliant lady. She's schooled. She's knowledgeable. She's got a PhD, for Christ's sake. She's a doctor. She is an excellent orator. She understands how the Fed has been taking from us.
Mm-hmm.
She can make the changes we want. She wants every boy and girl that's overseas fighting in wars they shouldn't be fighting in home, and will bring them all home. She will clear and she will get rid of all people that are in jail for victimless crimes. These are very important things to us, especially to everybody watching this. There isn't another candidate running for office with an R or a D next to their name that can claim that they will allow every victimless crime person out of jail the day they get in office. And this is what this woman is looking to do. Like every libertarian, we understand people don't belong there in jail. So let's make the choices. Again, when we talk about body health and soul and mind, you've got to talk about what takes care of you too.
Yes.
And we really have to start paying attention more, folks. We really do. We always avoided politics. Remember in the beginning of our show?
Yes, we did. We
you know,
did. But well, look, but we also, our motto has been from day one, we live the changes we wish to see in the world.
right.
And the changes that we wish to see requires a political change.
Right.
So we have no choice but to delve in, because we need to live those changes. Peter, you got to stop worrying about the dog. They'll be fine. They're puppies. They're gonna come back.
Right.
They'll be fine. He's like an old woman.
Well,
When it comes to worrying about these puppies.
What? 12, 13, 14 weeks
they're
old?
venturing out. They're fine. So, hey Jim, is
Anybody guest on there
is
yet?
anybody coming on? Is Dana
No,
in
he's
the
not backstage. I already asked.
backstage?
I
No.
asked. I've already done that. with
Okay.
him.
How about any comments you want to go over? Carrie Cannon. No victim, no crime.
That's right.
Dan
That's right.
Skippy.
And we want to thank Carrie Cannon. Listen, I want to put out a quick list of people I truly want to thank that helped out tremendously in Glenn and Peggy's case.
Yes.
I want to thank Carrie Cannon. Carrie did a tireless job of sign making and then promoted a letter writing campaign, and we all took part in that. Glad we did. Thank you, Carrie, for your hard work, especially your hard work with Mr. Lance Glore. And let's free Lance Glore. Let's bring him home to Tracy. Let's bring him home to his family. Let his child see him. Let's get this guy home. And if Carrie's got anything to do with
clemency.
it'll definitely
It's gonna happen.
definitely help. I also want to thank Amy Wolfenbarger, Kim Rupp, Rhonda Agard, Bill Creedy, all the people that were there at that courthouse every time that there was a quirky. Now, we only made it 3 times. I wish I could have made it every time. Promise you I do. But then people were diligent. They were always reporting, keeping us informed, standing there and saying, hey, listen, this is BS. We're standing behind these
Thank
people.
you, Jim
And
Freedom.
you guys
He came
all
too.
All need a big applause.
Yeah, for sure. It worked.
Yeah.
You know, having that massive presence works.
Yes.
Because look, then they don't think that they don't know a little bit that that how wrong they are in trying a case like this. They have to know. There's too much out there about cannabis, and otherwise they're not doing any research at all. And they have to in a case like this. Right. So it's
my thoughts.
They knew what they were doing.
My thoughts with that judge and with yesterday, and I woke up confident. I was nervous and sick. I got to admit, I was texting Glenn.
He was from 6 o'clock in the morning. He was
for 2 days. I was like sick to my stomach thinking about it. But what always kept coming back to me was, you can use this while you're on this. I mean, and that was the only order the judge made.
Yeah.
The judge, you could tell at that point in time, at least understood and had some compassion.
Well, you wonder was there what was going on between the judge and the DA that they couldn't find common ground.
Because
then?
the DA
there
had
was
to make a point that the DA, it's a small area. Come on, guys. If you've
Well,
ever
Glenn
been
was
out there-
right. You know what? There was too much power displayed
Yeah.
from the DA's office.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that the judge should have absolutely intervened
taking
numerous
control.
times, taking control and saying no.
It's
You
his
know,
order.
I mean, hey, when we were there the last time, they were supposed to just stop and try this trial completely on the letter of the law as it was written. And they didn't do that. Had they done that, Glenn wouldn't have been facing time. Neither one of them would have. But it's
It was a shit political game. It was back and forth. But at the end of the day, Glenn's home.
yes, thank God. Thank God.
You know,
Thank
hey, Rick,
God.
you just think that I think the fines when he was adding them up, I think I was doing it in my head, were close to $60,000.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, I mean, that's and
what do you got to pay that for 2 years, 9 months of your life? They've made you almost like put you home in the hospital. This is another thing I wanted to say.
no retribution for them, huh?
Thursday before this, Peggy just had an operation.
Yep.
So, I mean, here she was. She just had an operation, and then Monday she had to go into court. She might not even have her husband there to take her to the hospital to finish up her follow-up afterwards. I mean, it's really what the things that need to be examined are this. We're dealing with a plant that does nothing but help. It doesn't hurt. Can't hinder. Only helps the human. As Helen always says, it's your cousin in some way because it does and mimics your body.
It does.
The cannabinoids within.
Look,
So we have to understand the physiology of the plant and of ourselves and understand why
understand
they work together.
the process of apoptosis and understand what neutralizes oxygen-free radicals.
Mhm.
Just understand those two things, and you'll be on board. You'll be on board.
Well,
And
Glenn and Peggy aren't the only case out there, guys. Again, we've mentioned Craig Cecil's home on a home release from Terre Haute on a life sentence for cannabis. But we're glad he's home too. But he isn't. They could take him back at
you
any
know,
time.
it's
with this COVID
amazing
thing and
how
put his full
humble.
sentence
Well,
record.
you know, look, it's amazing how humble these people are with what they've endured. Look
Absolutely.
at Craig Cecil and how humble he is in just being home. He's just happy to be home. He doesn't care that he's on home confinement. He doesn't care that they got him for another 8 years. He doesn't care. Not that he doesn't care, but he's just so happy about being where he is right
And
now.
all he does is keep talking about
And-
how we should keep fighting, and
Right.
how we should keep
Right.
going,
And that's how Glenn is. You know,
Mhm.
Glenn is the same way. You know, he's very humble. And that speaks volumes to his character. And it's such a grave injustice that's being done to all these people that are still sitting in prison waiting on clemencies, like Lance Floor, and so many others that are waiting, that have been arrested and waiting for trial, and it's
or so many that did have licenses that were lucky enough to get out. George Monterano, and by the way, George, let's give George a plug today. George's got a new product out. If you're in Philadelphia and you need to and you are near the Hemp Hap Cafe, please stop in and purchase Godfather water.
yes,
The Godfather water.
alkaline CBD
The
water.
water, yeah.
Bravo,
Now,
George.
again, if
Bravo.
you guys don't understand it, when you ingest it in this form, it absolutely works better for your
Yes,
body.
it does.
So again, we're 2/3 water to begin with, so we can't go wrong by ingesting it and having it.
And alkaline water is a must.
Mhm.
Everybody should be drinking it. Everybody should be drinking alkaline water. I know
Mhm.
I am every day in my new thermos that my producer got for me yesterday. Thank you, Jim, by the way. I love this thing. And but alkalining your environment is what's going to keep you from getting sick. I mean, there is no disease, including cancer, that can live in an alkaline environment. Scientific fact. So don't go out though and buy already made alkaline water. Just
You
make it
don't need to,
yourself.
for Christ's sake.
Make it yourself. Go to Helen's Holistic Hints videos on YouTube, and you'll see an alkalizing water demonstration
Yeah.
that I created for anybody who needs to know.
Mhm.
Um,
Let's bring our producer up. Let's let
for
him
sure.
spend the last few minutes of the show with us. Jim
you there,
Freedom.
Jim? You still with us?
Yep, I'm here. How's it going?
At Command Central.
I was trying to hurry up and pull up the Helen Solistic Hints YouTube. I didn't have it ready.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, we appreciate it, Jim.
So, hey, do we have any comments that we should discuss, or are we good? What's up?
Well, the most recent one here, Bland Dana, they say a judge told the defendant that he could not use medical and told him to take the pharmaceuticals THC.
Yeah.
That's enough to piss you off, huh?
Hell yeah.
Dana's another one. Dana's a chapter
Dana
coordinator
beat
as well.
his case.
But Dana beat his case on constitutional freedoms.
Yes, because
him and his wife.
he and now he teaches
Mhm.
about the Constitution,
Mhm.
and he is one hell of an activist. He's there for a lot
He
of
does
cases.
a tremendous amount of court support, man.
For sure.
He truly does, and we owe peace to you both, Dana, and to Sue. We had the pleasure of staying at their place when we were in Missouri.
Yes.
So, good friends again.
So,
well.
have we gotten any numbers in?
You have got some numbers. Let me scroll up here. Tracy Glore Pike says 62.
Okay.
Carrie Cannon said 425.
Ah.
Yes. No clue. I know there's more though. They were earlier. Here we go. 445. Thank you so much for the CBD hand sanitizer. I love it. Very nice of you. I appreciate it.
Let's see.
That's Lori, isn't it?
No, Lori got the salt. That is Tammy Sue Haley.
Yeah,
Got the
Tammy
hand
Sue Haley.
sanitizer.
She got that on the first. That was the first giveaway. So that was two couple of weeks ago.
I'm so glad that you like it. And Mary's Natural Creation. She's a beautiful person who
Don't run
does
out.
some
You can
great,
find
great-
every product
some
that
great
you
products.
get. Every product that we give away, you can find out on our website.
Oh, for sure.
So please don't ever run out. And everything's there for you. Jim's always got it zipping across the bottom of the screen
Yes.
anyway, so we don't have to worry about looking at it.
So one more time, I just want to speak to my viewers and let y'all know if you're watching this on Facebook, please click off and go to my YouTube channel, Can We Talk 42 small o, and
Yes.
watch it there and
Mhm.
help me get my 44-hour view.
And if you
I threw that. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I've been watching it on my phone on the side. I've been having the YouTube stream up to help with those watch hours. And I
Yep.
commented and been leaving my comment on the screen. It says, "Let's watch this on YouTube, everyone. Let's help him get the watch hours required to monetize the
Get
channel."
those watch hours up.
That's right.
So I'll keep posting that to just try to keep funneling people to the YouTube so
Wonderful.
we can get that done.
Wonderful.
You want to go
Listen,
through
guys,
your
If you guys know-
Patreon and your Teespring again?
Sure, let's throw
Yes,
them back
please.
up there one more time before we get off the air. That way everybody's familiar with them. Again, if you want to be a member and of our Patreon group, there are memberships from $5 a month up to $100 a month. At the heavy quarter, you start receiving benefits of receiving a product in the mail. So by the time you're at we're at the third level, you're receiving a monthly product without
subscription,
having
yep.
to worry about ordering it. It comes in the mail every month without fail. Plus the other perks that go along with it. And then it only helps with production again, guys.
Yes.
There's production costs, there's website costs, there's a lot of costs that we incur, and it's just a way to ease our pain a little bit.
Yes.
And then teespring.com, catch some cool swag. Look, this isn't one that's available, but it will be available.
It will be. We just haven't created it yet.
And it's just a cool ass t-shirt with our logo on the back.
Yes.
There's other ones on there. We've got our logos on coffee mugs. We got them on face masks at this point in time because everybody's for some reason needs a face mask.
Hey, we got some really cool face masks, some really sarcastic ones, some really funny ones, some poignant ones.
You want to know what people say? People say, "But you're so against masks. Why are you selling them?" Well, I'm an entrepreneur.
Well,
dummy.
I'm
If somebody's
an
going to sell you a
wait a
mask, let me me.
And out of all of my merchandise, my masks give $1 each one sold to starving children
Yeah, it
around
goes
the
to
world.
100 hungry children.
So,
so it's doing
That's
good. Every time
that's
it's in
why I'm choosing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
choosing to sell masks because $1 of each purchase will go to a hungry child.
Hungry kid.
And I can put all my sarcastic crap all over your face.
You know something, guys? Hunger kills more people. Starvation kills more people in this world than anything really does. Anything does. And there's no vaccine for that. There's no
Nope.
vaccine needed.
Nope.
It's giving somebody some food or helping them out. So if you could buy a mask and kick $1 to a kid, and let me tell you what, $1 will buy them a shit ton of food in their little country, because that's just the way it works. But that's it, baby. We're at
Yep.
6 o'clock now.
We are at
Yeah.
6 o'clock. So get all your numbers in for either your CBD isolate by Mary's Natural Creations or Zoya Soft Gels 30 count 10 milligram, or broad spectrum tincture
250
Zoya product 250 milligrams
Mm.
as well.
And don't forget,
Thank
guys,
you, Mike Robinson, for all you do.
Yes, Mike, thank you for donating that. We appreciate that. Listen, guys, if you have somebody that's facing charges, if you have somebody that's caught a case, please direct them to us. Direct them to, there's lots of places. There's a Can of Convict Project. There's a lot of great groups out there, but make sure they're in touch with someone that can try to help them and advise them and give them some helpful hints. Be there to help them in court, support them, write their judges, write their DAs, send these pictures. We got plenty of people that we can get involved in this. Also, have them be a guest on the show, or email us at info.canawetalk420@gmail.com. If you've got a show suggestion, if you want to be on the show, if you have someone that needs to be on the show, just please let us know, man. We'll definitely get you on.
Yep, a medical case, a court case, whatever it is, you're a patient. We want to hear from you.
And if
for
you're
sure.
politically motivated and you want to get involved and you really want to make changes, visit the LP.org, folks. Read our mission statement. The Libertarian Party is definitely, more Americans are libertarian and do not realize it. They just don't realize it. And the only way we're going to make these changes that need to happen is in government. Because if the government doesn't change, nothing
changes. That's it. We can't keep doing this. It's madness. So that's our show for this week. Until next time, be the best you that you can be.
That's right, guys. Again, next week we'll try to entertain you, we'll try to educate you, and we will teach you how to live a Cana lifestyle. Peace, all.